Good news can often get overlooked or buried by the negative in our everyday lives. So let's change that. I'm Adriana.
And I'm Wyatt.
We're just two ordinary people without any special qualifications or anything, trying to navigate life. We invite you to join us as we share wholesome stories, news articles of hope, and ideas about how we can all make the world just a little bit brighter. We are Uplifting Positive Stories. Welcome back to another episode of Uplifting Positive Stories. Thanks for joining us, everybody, and happy holidays.
And Merry Christmas if you do happen to listen to this a week after it drops when the Christmas Eve and Christmas arrive and such.
Yes, I like that this year we got like a week lead up before like a lot of the holidays and stuff like that. I know a lot of people's lives get really busy around that time. I know for us it does, especially around New Year's and
especially
stuff.
when you're pregnant.
That's true. That's you. So yeah, we've got a ton of fun stories today lined up, so I'm very excited. Like I said in the last episode, I was saying how like I've been literally saving these all year long as I've came upon them, so now I finally get to share them. I've been sitting on these for a while.
Whole year of curating content.
Yes, so here we
High
go.
High expectations.
I hope it holds up.
Kind of like Stranger Things Volume 2 of Season 5.
One more week. One more week. We're excited.
Yeah.
All right. Our first story today is from Random Acts of Kindness, and it is titled, I make/buy Christmas cards every year for my whole neighborhood. Here we go. Not sure if you could count this as a random act of kindness, but I still wanted to share.
Sounds random and it sounds nice.
Yes,
so
I agree.
I'd consider that.
I think so too.
Kindness.
For around 5 years now, I've been giving out Christmas cards to my neighbors/the whole neighborhood. It started during Corona when we weren't allowed to visit others during Christmas time. I had some spare time since, we couldn't really go anywhere during the lockdown, and I made around 40 handmade Christmas cards for the apartment building that's across from my house. The years after that, I didn't have as much time, but I still made some cards, and after that, I bought them. At first, I had a handwritten Merry Christmas in every card, which eventually turned into a little story about being together, which I printed out and stuck in the cards. 2 years back, one of my neighbors came up to me while walking the dogs and told me that she was very thankful for the card. Her husband had been in the hospital and it was a really hard time for her. She said that her card came at just the right time, and that made me really happy. It's something I still think about to this day. Last year, I bought 200 cards, which I delivered all around the neighborhood, and this year, I plan to do the same. Some of our close neighbors know it's me because I write my name on it. I write, from your neighbor, my name. But for the rest, probably no one knows. Maybe one or two people that know our dogs, but that's just because I don't have that common of a name. We'll be moving next year, so this year I'll make the cards extra special. I'll bake some cookies and put them together with the cards in the envelope. I hope I perhaps inspire someone to do the same, even if it's not on the same scale or the same medium, even if it's just one or two cards or perhaps a simple friendly greeting. Why not make someone's holiday season feel a little more special or a little less lonely? Thank you for reading, A Reddit Stranger.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's just an easy, for the scale they're doing, that's a lot. But, writing a card to your neighbor is a very simple thing to do. And
but to many neighbors,
that scale becomes hard to uphold. But if you, have the time and you have some extra Christmas cards, that's a really thoughtful thing to just, drop a nice message and throw it in their mailbox or in their front door or whatever, it's just a sweet thing that doesn't take a lot of work, but you never know if somebody's feeling lonely that season or feeling like they're not getting many people reaching out. Mm-hmm. So that's a really cool idea.
Well, it's also a very isolating time period.
Yeah, especially during Corona. That was a crazy time. So that's really cool that she did that. Or he did that. I guess I don't know the gender.
Yeah. And a side tangent, do you feel like we only had half of a COVID experience? Because when you hear these stories and we talk to people where it's like, I didn't have any time on my hands because of the shutdowns and everything. Yeah. So that I just did this and this and this. And we were lucky for this to a certain extent. We both worked during COVID.
We
so
did.
I feel like we experienced the lockdown. We didn't go anywhere for fun or anything, but we both still had to work, working in news stations and stuff.
It's true.
I don't think that was some of the hardest time period working I've ever worked was during that time.
Yeah,
so I can't even imagine
crazy.
the concept of I didn't
seeing anybody.
I didn't really have anything. I didn't really have anything to do at this time, so I did this. That concept doesn't even breach into my consciousness that wasn't my experience at all.
Right? Yeah, we were out. We still had to go out masked, of course, and stuff, and we had to go on a lot of work. He had to go everywhere shooting news. I was making commercials during that time, and Yeah, it was still busy.
In fact, it was even busier because now all of a sudden we had stationed vehicles and stuff with us. So now all of a sudden, just being at home, you're always available to go to shoots or whatever.
Anytime of day.
So
yeah.
I was always on call.
So yeah, we didn't really like have the isolation experience. It's true. Other than like we weren't allowed. It was weird. They weren't like, I won't get too much into this because we're getting in the weeds a little bit, but like,
yeah, it's not very holiday.
But it was weird because we weren't allowed to get together with like family or anything like that. So we weren't able to get together with anything for fun. But yet we had to be around people for work. So it was really a weird experience where we didn't see family members, but we were like, or friends, but we were constantly around our coworkers and like
I still had to cover
people shooting
like,
a lot of stuff.
I still had to cover, the political rallies and all these big events with lots of people. So I guess
we were like isolated in a different way of like, we were missing our family and friends in a way and like, that but like but it was weird
that's why I said a half of a COVID experience, right? We definitely still experienced the lockdown, but in terms of the whole like I have all this time, what do I do with it? Like I don't know, like almost like discovering themselves or like not discovering themselves. I don't think we had any of that, so it's kind of weird when I hear these stories. I'm like, oh man, that was not our experience at all. So it's kind of hard to feel that. But I know a lot of people can, right? So it's still a good story for.
But it was nice seeing people find creative ways to kind of reach out even during that time. Like this isn't Christmas or holiday related, but like it was Wyatt's birthday was in May. So like that was around the time of like when it was really bad for a while.
That was like a month or two into it's almost over. It's almost over. And it just never was almost over.
Yeah. And so we had like his brother and his wife came over and dropped off some ice cream on our porch, and they were at the bottom with had like a little card and like a little thing of ice cream they'd gotten him for his birthday, and that was really sweet. So like there was a lot of that kind of stuff, or like our boss like would deliver, like have like a company deliver food to us sometimes as like a way of being like, thanks for still working and stuff like that, happy holidays. Like so there was a lot of that kind of stuff, which was really cool, of people during that time trying to get creative and find ways that they could still show they cared during the holidays without breaching like being the protocols and stuff. It was a really interesting time seeing how people do that. So the card idea I think is really cool and really neat, and now that it's COVID's over, putting cookies in there, that's really sweet.
Apologize for that long tangent. I just thought that crossed my mind. I was like,
we've never talked about it. That was a crazy time. All right, on to our next story here. This one comes from Best of Redditor Updates. This one is titled, I've been hiding this from my husband all year and he's going to find out on Christmas. And this was originally posted in Marriage. So here we go. So the post says, all right, I see you slam clicking on this like it's the tea of the century. Don't worry, there's no scandals here. Just me sneaking around for a wholesome reason. Stick around though, because I need some sneaky ideas for next year. Every year, I do a savings challenge, and I give it to my husband on Christmas.
Savings challenge?
Yeah, it's become a tradition that started years ago when I noticed how stressed he gets about finances, especially around the holidays. He's the only income earner for our family of 5. We have 3 kiddos. And gift receiving just isn't his love language. But I couldn't bear to do nothing for him, so I found a loophole. The first year, I saved up money from a little side hustle and bought a little bit of gold every month. It was the smallest box under the tree, but to this day, he still says it was his favorite gift ever. The whole point is to show him how much I see and appreciate the financial weight he carries, and to give him something that's 100% stress-free. Since then, I've tried to get creative. One year was antique coins, another year was silver. This year, I got one of those smashed-to-open piggy banks, and I secretly started adding to it. It's been sitting on our dresser all year in plain sight, disguised as a plant stand. He looks right at it multiple times a day, yet he has no clue. I can't wait to wrap it up with a hammer and watch him open it on Christmas morning. But now, I need to plan something for next year. I'd love to hear your ideas for savings challenges or unique ways to gift savings. Imaginary bonus points for ideas that are extra clever or have a fun twist. Let's hear it.
NVIDIA stock.
Yeah, right.
Or I don't know, whatever like is looking promising stock-wise.
That's funny. So another update.
So that'd be funny if like it's always like these antique like like gold or physical things. Yeah. It's not just a piece of paper says like $100 in NVIDIA stock or something.
Right, exactly.
or diversified stock. You know? The very wide stock portfolio.
That'd be funny. Update. I wanted him to have the first gift of Christmas, so I told him about my little secret on Christmas Eve. Watching all the dots connect and seeing his face light up was incredible, like a kid on Christmas morning. And yes, I realize it practically was Christmas morning, but there's really no better way to describe that kind of joy. He loved it so much we decided to get another one, but this time we'll both add to it throughout the year and break it open together next Christmas. Don't worry, I'm still going to do a separate savings gift just for him. Pro tip, if you try this, I have a bag or a box or something ready. I didn't, and he ended up smashing it open out of excitement right on our bed. Thankfully on his side. Anyways, thank you for all the love and ideas on my first post. It made this little tradition feel even more special knowing so many people enjoyed it too. Mm-hmm. So someone commented asking how much and what did you do? And OP said, this year I managed to save over $1,200. So there was $1,200 in that piggy bank that he smashed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy. And that's really, I think it's really creative because I like when people find creative solutions when people don't have receiving or giving gifts of their love language, because that is something that not everybody enjoys. Like some people, it's just not their thing. Like opening a pair of, I don't know, a set of headphones or a video game, like that might not be their thing. They just might be like, oh, okay, well, thanks. Like it's just not their thing. Some people obviously love that. And so finding a creative way where for him, obviously it sounds like finances are kind of a stressor and stuff like that. So having it be something that's like, okay, here's some finances that you don't have to feel guilty about spending because you didn't even know you had it. You know what I mean? That kind of a thing. That's a really creative way to do that and like speak to his love language of like helping with that stress, that guilt-free money part of it and the fun part of it being unique each year. And what's it going to be? One year it's a piggy bank, one year it's a gold coin, like, you know, not knowing what it's going to be, that surprise element. I think that's really, really cool when people can do that and not be like, well, I got them a gift and I put thought into it. How could they not be more grateful? You know what I mean? Like not having any expectations and trying to speak what you actually think would make them happy, not just because it's the thing to do. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's a good example of that. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
But also be willing to listen as well if like that gift's not for them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, hopefully they'd still respond nicely, but if they clearly were like, I don't know, like don't double down on that.
Right, exactly.
So like listen and be receptive, but it sounds like they are, so it's glad to hear that, you know, that's working.
Yeah, it's a fun thing that they share and it's a fun tradition every year. And that's really fun when you can find a tradition that's kind of unique to you as a family or as a couple or as a friend group, like funny thing for us. Like everyone else, if anyone were to come to our friend group thing, they'd be like, what the heck is this about? One year we decided to do a white elephant exchange where we had one gift that's like $25 or less, and then one gift that's either a re-gift or something you made or something that you found around the house, just something silly that like people could, that we just exchange. And like it was just funny to see what people put in there.
Like the Mountain Dew Fire.
That's what I was going to say. So someone in our friend group had gotten a case of Mountain Dew Fire when that was a thing, which was like spicy Mountain Dew.
There were two of them.
And we had all had to try it and nobody liked it. And so they were stuck with this big case of it. And so and like a couple people had bought it to try it out, and
there
so
was like two cases
of this Mountain Dew Fire ended up in this gift exchange. And so now it's funny because like every year there's like a single can of Mountain Dew Fire from those original cases.
It is so expired
that like gets passed around.
If it being bad wasn't already like a deterrent, like now funny. It's deadly. Just kidding.
And so it's like a funny tradition every year that like that gets passed around between like people in the friend group. It's like who ended up with the Mountain Dew Fire this year? Like it's those funny or fun personal traditions that make any holiday special and fun. And so yeah, it's just cool to see.
And it's nice that, you know, because they're parents with kids, that this is a new tradition that is just for them.
Yeah.
So I feel like that gets brought up a lot in terms of parenting, especially for new parents like us, is to find things that are just for the two of you.
Yep.
Because that gets harder and harder as you have kids and you grow up and then you create traditions together. Like what's your guys' thing for the two of you?
Exactly. So yeah, really cool story. On to our next one here. This one comes from the subreddit Benign Existence, and it is titled Our Real Secret Santa. My husband has been out of work for 9 months. We have 3 kids, and it's been really rough financially. For the past 3 months, October through December, we've received anonymous letters in the mail with money in them. We know it's from a friend or acquaintance, but we have no idea who. These letters have enabled us to get our kids Christmas presents, and we will never know who blessed us. Also, 2 days before Christmas, my husband gets a call. He finally got a job. It's been a really great week. Yeah. So very, very, very cool, sweet, simple story, but anonymous letters to help them get Christmas presents. Very, very cool.
Getting new jobs is exciting.
That too. So yeah, sweet, simple, fun. Let's go on to the next one here.
Uplifting.
This next one comes from the subreddit Ask Reddit, and the question was, what is the nicest thing you've ever done that nobody knows about?
Until now.
Here we go. This one's fun. This one is cheating a little because it wasn't actually me, but it has inspired me to do a lot more selfless things in my life. When I was 14 or so, I went with my dad to Target. He was doing some general Christmas shopping, but also had a list from an impoverished inner city family. It was handwritten notes from each of the 4 children in the family. They were instructed by the charity running the program to keep their requests reasonable. But my dad read every one of them and went way overboard. One kid asked for a video game for a previous generation system. My dad bought him a PS2, which was new at the time, and a bunch of games. One of the daughters asked for a modest desk to do her schoolwork on. He bought her a really cool one and threw in every kind of school supply she could possibly need. And so on for the other 2 kids. He ended up spending a lot of money on this family. When he saw how jealous I was of the PS2, I'd really been wanting one badly. He looked at me and said, I want you to stop and really think about who this is going to and what their life is probably like and what it will feel like for them to open this on Christmas. If you do that and still want it, I'll give it to you instead. And so that's the story of how I got my rad new PS2. Just kidding. It's how I learned about the joy of giving and that my dad's a pretty cool guy. Yeah.
Nice little, what's it called? Bait and switch.
Yeah. When I first read it, I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh.
You're usually getting pretty good at those where I'm like...
Wait a second. It takes a second to clock. Wait,
well, I
what?
thought for that, maybe there was like... so I got a PS2, but then later I felt bad about it, and I learned a lesson. And that inspired me to do this later, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But... I mean, what a great life lesson for his 14-year-old kid. Like, think about that. And if you really still want it, I'm going to give it to you. But, like, think about how much this is going to mean to that family and, like, why we're doing it. You know?
Well, my parents would probably say, this is an opportunity for you to do the right thing.
To make the right decision.
It's a real opportunity for you to fail to do the right thing. But that is a little bit of a gamble.
I think it's really awesome. And I think it'd be really fun to do that kind of a thing where you like have a list of things that they asked for, but then being able to go even more above and beyond on that and get them like even nicer versions of those things. Or I don't know, I think that's really, really cool that dad did that. Super. If you have the means, that's really, really cool. I like that a lot. That was really fun. Kind of a cool story and a good life lesson for that 14-year-old.
Again, it was a gamble.
It was a gamble, but it paid off, and it made him respect his dad a lot too, which is super cool.
Also a gamble.
All right, on to our next story. This one comes from the subreddit Ask Reddit, and the question is, what is the most wholesome thing you have seen? Here we go. This one's really sweet. One Christmas season, I saw a young woman, late teens or early 20s, walking through an IKEA, picking up things in the huge marketplace area, taking a picture of them, putting them back, and moving on. She was obviously thinking intently about gifts, but I was confused. Was she making a wish list or something? An employee saw this and asked if they could help her find something, and she says, "Oh, no thank you. I'm helping my dad Christmas shop. He works really hard and has very little time. Plus, when he gets off work, his brain is just fried. So every year when I'm on break, I go around to a bunch of stores and I take pictures of things I think my mom would really like. Then I'll show them to him at home. We talk about them and he picks them out. Then I go back and I get them. It's the least I can do for him. Plus, it's kind of become our little secret Christmas tradition. Mom has no idea." I think that's really sweet.
I think that's cute. I mean, I don't know these people, but like, I could see that being like misconstrued as like, oh, the dad's not really caring enough to actually.
But he's picking from the stuff she's giving.
I know, but like, I think it's a neat like bonding activity with him and his son, right?
Daughter, I think. Yeah.
child, one or the
Yeah,
other.
daughter. Yeah, daughter.
And sometimes jobs are hard. I don't know what the job is, but it sounds like he's fried.
Yeah.
And it's just how his kids choosing to help out, and
Right.
yeah, the tag team in it.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I mean, I know like my mom, so my grandma, my mom's mom, she couldn't drive. And so sometimes they'd go out together and go gift shopping, but sometimes it'd be too crazy and their schedules wouldn't line up. And so my mom would do something kind of similar to this, where she would be like, here's a bunch of things that they like. Which ones do you like want to give to them? And I'll go out and I'll buy them. And then I'll bring them to you and then you can wrap them. And like that was a really sweet thing. And I know my grandma always appreciated it because she struggled with like, how am I going to get them? How am I going to get to the store and that kind of stuff. And so my mom doing that for her just kind of took away that stressor for her. But she still got to be a part of the process and like picking out from the list, like what to get and being able to wrap it and all that kind of stuff. So like it's especially for people that can't get out and stuff like that, or for whatever reason, that's a really cool way to help them out in the season and still let them feel included in that and like be a part of that gifting process without having to like, be stressed and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's a cool, very wholesome story.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right. On to our next one here. This one comes from Casual Conversation, and there's a couple people posts on this one that I want to talk about, but this one is, what's the best random act of kindness you've ever received? So one person said, about 10 years ago, we were struggling and couldn't afford much for Christmas. A cop turned his lights on behind me, took my ID like I was going to get a ticket. I flipped out, making sure everyone was buckled up, and I knew I wasn't speeding. He gave me $100 for my 2 kids. It was awesome.
Do that locally, too.
That's so sweet.
I know that I can't remember if State Patrol or Superior Police did that. There's one of the police organizations or law enforcement organizations that locally does that.
That's really, really cool.
Time.
Very, very cool. Mm-hmm. Next one here. When I was 7, it was Christmas and my stepdaddy was dying. We were already poor and it was just depressing. Christmas Eve night, also my birthday, which we couldn't really afford to celebrate. I remember hearing a knock at the door and then my mom crying. I run to the door and there are at least a dozen of our church members carrying boxes and singing. They brought enough food for a feast for an army and tons of toys for my sister and I. It seemed so magical and the first time I'd heard my mama not cry out of pure sadness. Truly saved Christmas. I don't remember their faces or names, only that my house was suddenly filled with happy singing people who saved the day. They did it for no real motive, no social media back then. I don't remember it ever being discussed again. We were just some poor, sad kids who went to their Sunday school. They saw us, and that made all the difference. Changed something in me that day. 31 years later, and I still think of that Christmas every Christmas season, and I go out of my way to help a struggling family. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's cute.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Seeing kids in need and stepping up.
Yeah, a community coming together. That's really cool.
Makes me think of, so lately we've been watching Abbott Elementary.
Yes, I love that show. So good.
I think that's the season behind season 4. There's like the Christmas themed episode.
Yes.
And one of the teachers, Barbara, who's I think pretty much labeled as like the Christian of the teachers, like very devout Christian, is like putting on a Christmas pageant or whatever, Christmas event or whatever, and she notices like one of her the kindergarten kids who's Islamic is feeling left out, and then like within moments later decides we're scrapping the whole Christmas theme or making it winter themed, and like
doing songs
to
like
great inconvenience to everybody else, and they're all planned, like decide to change it all for this one kid who felt left out, and then suddenly was felt super included, and her mom at the end was super thankful and stuff. And it was a really wholesome episode, I thought. I just thought it was cool to see that she was the character that was the one that like, right, we're scrapping the Christmas, we're making it winter, and like
it's all about
inclusive
being
and like
included.
I don't know, that feels very Christian like to step in like that and like identify who's feeling excluded and who needs the uplifting.
Yeah, I think that's a cool thing no matter what holiday you celebrate, is just finding ways to be able to make everybody feel included, no matter what the holiday is, just feeling like they matter. Whether it be, like a Christmas card, or not a Christmas card, but a holiday card, just like being like season's greetings, wishing you a great holiday season, like something like that, or making some cookies for somebody, or just making sure they're included, making sure they're feeling like they're part of the community. Like, yeah.
Well, especially because OP also, their birthday's on Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah, it was their birthday.
That's also hard. It's easy to feel
hard.
excluded from traditional birthday norms because it's on a holiday. I mean, your birthday's in beginning of January, so it's very close to like New Year's and Christmas, and even that gets like forgotten and overshadowed sometimes.
I forget about it sometimes. Like my mom was recently like, I just got you a birthday present, and I'm like, I forgot my birthday was coming up. I didn't even think about it because I've been so busy with everything.
Your parents
else.
even apologized to you about like, I just feel so pooped after the holidays that we
so
I don't have the energy to
hard.
like get together for a birthday.
I get it, it's like you have the holidays and it's just like, oh my gosh, whew, that was fun, but it was a lot. So yeah, but yeah, pretty cool they came together for that family. All right, another one here comes from Random Acts of Kindness, and it's titled, I'll never tell any of my friends or family about what I did right before Christmas. Here we go.
Suspicious.
I'll never be able to tell any of my friends or family about this because I know that they'll tell me that I was scammed, but I know that I wasn't. It was the week before Christmas and I was flying home from Vegas on Southwest. I got to the airport early because my friend was leaving early, and frankly, I was just ready to be gone. What I didn't realize was that Southwest doesn't allow you to check bags in more than like 3 or 4, I can't remember, 4 hours before your flight. So I went up the stairs and was hanging out in a quiet area with my overpriced Starbucks when I was approached by 2 young men who couldn't have been older than 20. They were from Venezuela. They did not speak English. I do not speak Spanish. Luckily, the older of the 2 had a translation app on his phone. It turns out that they were brothers and had come to Vegas for a job, and the guy who had hired them had turned out to be a piece of work, who worked them half to death that one week, then dumped them at the airport with no food, no money, or plane ticket, and all they wanted was someone to help them purchase tickets back to New York City. Luckily, the first Southwest employee I approached spoke Spanish and offered to help them. I checked in my bags and was getting ready to head towards security when I saw the 2 young men still talking to the Southwest employee. One was crying. It turned out that they didn't have enough money to pay for the tickets back to New York City because, as we all know, what is Christmas without a little surge pricing? So I paid for 2 tickets so that these young men could go and be with their family back in New York City. I asked the Southwest employee to ask them if they'd eaten, and they apparently hadn't eaten in almost 2 days. The Southwest employee got them each some food vouchers, but they still had a 12-hour flight to get home, so I also gave them the emergency money I carry in my wallet. I don't care what people say. These young men were not scamming me. They needed someone to help them. I don't get the chance to do good like this, and I feel grateful that I had the opportunity to help people who really needed it. One day, I hope that if I ever find myself in a situation this bad, that there will be someone to help me out. Yeah.
True. I mean, you can't pretend like it's not a possibility that there's some lying going on, but like it's not like it's Nigerian prince online like asking like for a crap ton of money, like give me your life savings or something.
Well, they didn't even directly ask OP for the money. It's not like they directly came. They were crying at the counter because the prices were so high, which is a very true thing. Also, airports are usually insane on holidays, and then the prices to get tickets are insane. So they probably had enough for like a normal everyday ticket, just not with the surge pricing. But if you can't afford it, you can't get a ticket, like straight up, like So, like, it's not like they can make a deal or figure it out, like, or get partially there. Like, they're at the airport, they can't get home. And New York City is a long ways away. They can't just drive. I mean, they could drive there, but there'd be days. The amount of money they'd spend to do that and get a rental car would be probably even more than the surge price ticket. So
yeah, and it sounds like they made it through security too. So obviously they must have some kind of credentials in that regard.
Yeah, exactly. So for OP to do that, incredibly nice, incredibly nice, and they should feel proud of themselves for doing that because that's amazing. And I also don't like that too when you already did something nice when people are like, oh, I bet you they were probably scamming you. Like, don't.
Or they're probably going to spend it on drugs or something.
Right. Like, it's what's done is done. Like, let them feel happy about it.
Yeah.
And hope for the best. Like, who knows? Like, you never know.
I mean, to me, it's like, is that really different than say, like, oh my gosh, like I really enjoyed the new like Wicked for Good movie, and it's like, oh, that movie sucks. Terrible. It was like, awful,
no.
and you're dumb
Which
for
we
liking
don't think,
it.
by the way, but we liked it.
I mean, it wasn't as good as the first one, but the point is that like you see somebody like said, I really enjoyed it, I feel really good about going to see it. Like, why would you have liked that? Like,
right? Don't write on their parade.
I mean, you don't have to agree, but like, don't. Why?
Let them feel good about it. Like they should. That was a really kind thing to do. So
that's different than expressing concerns. Like, oh, they continue like reach out for more money or something.
Giving them things
like
then maybe I get expressing concern.
A concerning situation, but like what's done is done.
Exactly. So yeah, very, very cool that person did that. Probably saved their day. Alrighty. On to our news article for today. So this one comes from fox29.com and it is titled, After 112 Years, Operation Santa is Still Accepting Letters. So, Operation Santa is a USPS initiative where kids can send letters to Santa and then adopters fulfill their holiday wishes. This was as of last year, I believe. Yeah, 2024 they were doing this.
112 years.
So 112 years they've been doing it. The initiative was established in 1912 by Postmaster General Frank Hitchcock, where people can write letters to Santa to be delivered. And yeah, they have his address for people to be able to write out their letters, to send their holiday wishes to Santa. And yeah, it's pretty cool they do this for them. And they say to like make your requests, reasonable for what you're asking for from Santa.
Santa's got limitations.
Got
There's a lot of
limitations.
people serving.
But and then there's like a due date to like send to be able to hear back from Santa before Christmas, which is super, super cool. But yeah, it's just a way of giving a little extra magic to kids during the holidays, which is really, really cool. But it's crazy that they've been doing this for 112 years.
It's crazy to think of anything going on for that
Yeah,
long,
someone started this way back when, of being able to send letters to Santa Claus, and here's how to write to him and stuff, and they're still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really, really cool. I hope they do it again this year. I'm sure they probably will. I don't know why they'd stop at 112.
They still have that phone service you and Tristan used to... You and your brother used to?
So have I shared that story?
I don't think so. If you have, go
it's just
for
a
it.
funny, lighthearted story because kids are crazy.
You being the kids in question.
When we were kids, our landline got a phone call from Santa Claus. And so that year, my brother and I were really little. I was probably 6 and he was 3. He was about 3. And so first I answer it. I didn't recognize the person on the phone, and it didn't say it was Santa off the bat. And so I thought it was a wrong number, and I hung up on him. My mom was like, "What did you do? You hung up on Santa Claus." And I'm like, I thought it was a stranger. I thought it was a wrong number because I didn't know them. And Mom's like, "What did you do?" And then it rung again. And Mom's like, "If this is them, do not hang up on Santa Claus." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." So I answered again. And then he finally said, "I'm Santa and I'm here to talk to you. I heard you've been a good little girl and my elves are up at the North Pole and they're so excited to get to going on making you some gifts. What would you like for Christmas this year?" So the big thing that year was there was a animatronic dog that everyone wanted that could walk. I didn't know what it was called, and so I just said, "I want a dog that could walk." To which
Poor Santa
paused and said, "Can you repeat that?" And I said, "Yes, I want a dog that can walk." And he was like, "Great."
And how confidently did you say it?
Very confidently. To which Santa's like, "Great, that's awesome."
You probably sounded peppy in too as well, because it's not like, your dog is Legolas or something,
Right.
You're probably sounding excited about it.
Is your dog missing legs? What does this mean? Anyways, and then he's like, "So I heard you have a little brother too. Is Tristan there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can I speak with him?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." So I put him on the phone. He goes, "What do you want for Christmas?" And my brother goes, "I want a flashlight and some vampire teeth." What?
Was this around Halloween he called?
No, it was a few weeks before Christmas. And my mom's sitting there with us and she's just looking at us like, what is wrong with you? What? Why do you want vampire teeth and a flashlight? She'd never heard that from him before. None of us had.
And what was his reason?
He's like, "I think you'd be cool."
The flashlight?
The flashlight and the vampire teeth. I don't know what his plan was.
To be used in conjunction or two separate?
I don't know what his plan was. And so, yeah, the Santa seemed very confused by that one as well. It was like, "Great, well, Merry Christmas." Oh my God, my mom still laughs about that to this day whenever we talk about it. She's like, oh my gosh, remember when you guys hit those ridiculous requests from Santa? Yeah.
After you hung up on him.
After hanging up on him. Anyways.
The disrespect and the weird requests.
Kids are funny. And also you never know what they want when they're that little, because sometimes the things that they want, you're like, interesting.
At least yours is a thing that you would normally want. You just didn't have the words for it.
I just didn't know what it was called.
Yeah.
An animatronic dog. But yeah. So anyways, very, very funny. Yeah, we were interesting children. Another year too, it was cute. My brother asked for a bell from Santa's sleigh because he'd watched Polar Express. And I might have already told the story. I hope I didn't.
It's been a year if you have.
But he really wanted to have the bell. Like in the movie Polar Express, if you haven't seen it, Santa gifts the little kid a bell, and you can only hear it if you believe. And so my brother got in his stocking this really old antique bell. He was like 4. And he would go around the whole day and he's ringing this bell being like, I can hear it. I can hear it the whole day long. And it was super, super cute. It was his favorite gift. Like my parents were like, so what was your favorite thing you got this year? And he's like, I like the bell. And it sat next to his bed like for years. Just like his prized possession of Santa's sleigh bell. It was really, really sweet. So yeah, some fun, wholesome kid things there. Little stories. I have tons more, but I won't go on and on.
Same for the next years.
Yes, exactly. So, but yeah, with all these stories, I hope that it just makes your holiday season a little more bright. Reminds us of like what's the true meaning of this season. Like this is such a great time of year for whatever holiday you celebrate. Like it's just kind of the overarching thing is just community and like being togetherness. And it's so cool to see how people choose to do that this time of year. There's so many creative things, from the Operation Santa to handing out cards to all these things that people did in these stories. People being really generous and kind, and it's just a great time of year and a good time to reflect on all that as we go into the next year and stuff, and trying to keep that up all year round, not just around the holiday season. But, yeah, so with that, we hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. And if you have any positive stories that you would like us to share, please send them to us. We'd love to have them on here. You can email them to us at upliftingpositivestories@gmail.com. And in a couple weeks here, we have our New Year's episode. It's actually dropping on New Year's Eve. And it is called New Year, New Outlook. So it'll be a good episode.
And if you're watching YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button or leave a comment. And if you're watching Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever, please leave us a review. Those really do help push us out there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thanks so much for listening. Have a happy holiday season.
And stay positive.